Good day everyone, this is Francis, and in today's analysis I'm going to be talking about Eurnzd and Pound CHF, analyzing these two pairs from the daily time frame down to the 4 hours time frame and seeing what we have on this market and where price will most likely be going next. So without further waste of time, I will be identifying the major levels in the market. I do this every time, starting my analysis with a clean chart so that we can all understand what's going on and how I come up with the areas I do pay attention to in the market. Okay, one more at this low. Okay, let's adjust that a little. And the last level I'll be paying attention to is right up there. So that's going to be that as regards um, horizontal line. So next, let's add our trend line to, I think this is the most important trend line we have. I think I can see another one below right here. Okay, so these are the lines I have from the daily time frame. Okay, so from the daily time frame, what can we see happening on Eurnzd? First of all, we can see a market that has created this wedge pattern right here. You can see our price came from this low, found support down there, and for the third time found support right here again. So from here it would have been reasonable to expect this shift from this area at least to this previous support to retest it as resistance before probably maybe some kind of consolidation within this resistance and support before we see probably a break higher or a break lower. So in essence, what am I saying? I'll be expecting to see price from this support we have right here make the next move into this resistance at 76.51. Then from that area we'll start looking at how price will react, if it will break higher or break lower. And the reason why I expect price to make this push up to this area is because, as you can see, we had price find support down here. So from here we could expect to see a pushback up into resistance. So that's going to be all from the daily time frame. Let's go into the 4 hours time frame and see what we have from the 4 hours perspective. Okay, so on the 4 hours time frame, I'll be adding one more trend line. I use the trend line tool a lot because it's very important. With it you can be able to estimate or tell the most likely direction price will face. Okay, so here we go. So from the 4 hours time frame, I think I'm supposed to have another level right here. Yes, that's valid. Okay, so from the 4 hours time frame, what can we see? First of all, we can see that we have support right here, which should turn into resistance, and as you can see, price already go to that place and rejected it as resistance. However, remember from the daily time frame we expect to see this push up to this area, right? So how do we understand what is going on here now? You can see how price came, made this push, found support at this area, made the break lower, and then came back higher, although it didn't make it up into this area to find resistance. Then before we had the next push lower again, and then we had this descending trend line guiding it to the downside. Yesterday we had a break of this trend line, which means we could most likely see the next move up into this area like we already expected. But now we can already see that we have support that might act as resistance at this point. So what does this mean? We might still see a push back to this low to form a double bottom pattern for continuation upwards. That's the scenario that may play out. And then we might also see a push to this area. That's, we might see price retest this area, and I will explain why I'm highlighting that area. So let me take a rectangle tool and pull it out there. Now you can see clearly, if I'm to zoom in a little bit, you can see clearly this one green candle right here. You had series of red candles, and then you have one green candle at this point. This shows that there was some kind of structure level around this point. Previous support right here turned resistance on the smaller time frame. So there's a very large probability that if price will get to this area again, it will most likely find support at this area and shift to the upside. So that's going to be an area I'll be keeping an eye on for a possible continuation to our overall upside target at 76.51. So for now, I'll be expecting to either see retracement to this area for an entry into 76.51, or probably a push lower back to these lows to complete the double bottom pattern before continuation to 76.51. So that's going to be all on Eurnzd. Next up, pound CHF. Okay, so on pound CHF, what do we have? First of all, let me identify the major levels in the market. Now I have one right down here. I have one up here. I have one up here. Yes, that's valid. I have one down at this level, and finally I have one down at this level. So these are the major levels I will be paying attention to as regards horizontal level. Now concerning trend lines, I don't really have a trend line that I can add to this chart from the daily time frame. But what can we see from the daily time frame over here? We can see a market that consolidated around this point for a couple of days, probably 2 weeks. We had the break above, continuation upwards, and now we have price back at 2083 support. Now what this means is that we could see a continuation higher into 2361, or we could see a break and a continuation lower into 1914. Those are the two scenarios we have right here. But since we don't have sufficient, okay, let me add the trend line. So from this low, from to add this trend line right here, what can we see from here? We have the trend line, we have previous resistance that could turn into support. So what this simply means is that we could most likely see a drop to this area before the push upward. Remember, we talked about this area at the beginning, and I can expect to see the push up to 2361, but before then there's a very high chance that price may drop to 1914 before continuing to 2361. And the reason for this is because we have previous resistance here that has not been tested as support, so we might see a move down to this support before continuation upwards. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame and see what we have. Alright, so from the 4 hours time frame, as usual, I'll be adding one more trend line to this chart. Beautiful. Alright, so from the 4 hours time frame, you can see how the price came from this whole area where I highlighted on the daily time frame, broke, made the high, made the lower high, made the higher high, and then we could have expected a lower high to surface somewhere around there for the next higher high. But what happened? We had a break of this ascending trend line and a break of this structure right here. So what is the most obvious thing we can expect? A retest of this area. Okay, we can expect a retest of this area as resistance before continuation downwards to this support. And if you look closely, you will notice that we have the possibility for an head and shoulders pattern also. So if we can have this move upwards to this area, then we'll have had a complete head and shoulders pattern. And after an head and shoulders pattern, it's normal to expect continuation to the downside. So this is the scenario I'm expecting to play out from pound CHF. I'll be expecting to see price make the move up first of all into this area of structure. Sorry about that. I'm expecting to see price make the move first of all into this area of structure, previous support turned resistance around 2130. So from that area, I'll be expecting to see the next move down to support at 1914. So that's going to be all on today's analysis. If you enjoyed this analysis, smash the thumbs up, share this video, subscribe, click on the bell notifications to enable you get our content whenever we drop them. Till we meet next time, stay profitable. Have a wonderful day.